It has been a fantastic second season of the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine, but sadly it must now come to an end, and it's coming to an end at one of the most beautiful venues. Welcome everyone to Mugello. We are getting ready to go qualifying for the first time this weekend, where today we could crown our champion. Thank you all for joining us. My name is Chris McCarthy. It's a pleasure to have your company. There you can see the cars lining up, getting ready to go for the first qualifying for round 10 of the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine here at Mugello. The qualifying format for you, to remind you of it, and for those of you new to the championship, the drivers have been split into two groups. This is done prior to the weekend, done off championship position. The drivers first, third, fifth in the championship are put into Group A, and the drivers second, fourth, sixth, and so on are put into Group B. Group A will go out first today. They will have their 15-minute qualifying session. They will be immediately followed by Group B. The quickest group at the end of the qualifying session will form the inside row of the grid. The slower group will form the outside row of the grid. Tomorrow, Group B will go out on track first when we go qualifying for race 2, and Group A will go out second. The groups will remain the same. Well, there you can see all the drivers getting ready to go. As I mentioned, we can crown our champion today. The championship situation is this. Dino Beganovic sits on 255 points. Gabriele Mini on 217 points. Paul Aron is on 216 points. And Hadrian David is on 208 points. 47 points split those four drivers. Those are the four that mathematically can still win the title. Dino, all he has to do to be crowned champion today is finish inside the top 4 positions. No matter what anyone else does, as long as he finishes inside the top 4, he will become champion. For Gabriele Mini, for Paul Aron, they will have to go and win the race and hope that Dino Beganovic finishes 5th or lower. As for Hadrian David, he needs somewhat of a miracle, really. All he can go and do is go out there and go out with a bang and try and win both races this weekend. Well, there you can see some of the cars lining up. The bright orange cars are the MP Motorsport cars, and they were pretty quick when we went testing. We've had 2 days of testing here at Mugello. The drivers arrived on Wednesday evening, and they were testing on Thursday. A lot of them came straight over from Barcelona and set up on Wednesday evening. They were out for a pre-event collective test on Thursday. Going quickest in that session was Gabriel Bortoletto, our winner, of course, from Barcelona. He took his very first pole position last Sunday at Barcelona. Pierre-Louis Chauvet was in second. Paul Aron was third. Then it was Kaz Havicourt in fourth. Dino Beganovic was fifth. Then we had Tim Tramnitz, Leonardo Fornaroli, Santiago Ramos, Hadrian David, and Esteban Masson. We do have a couple of changes to the grid just to inform you about. Santiago Ramos has now switched across from KIC Motorsport to RPM, so he is going to be running in those orange and green colours, and we welcome back to the championship William Alatarlo, the driver who has been racing in the FIA Formula 3 Championship this year and scored some points in it as well. He raced, of course, with Arden Motorsport last year and stood on the podium as well. So great to have him back. He finished 4th here last year. William Alatarlo is back, and he fills that seat that Santiago Ramos once had at KIC Motorsport. Yesterday in testing, the first session, Gabriele Mini was fastest with a 1:42.9 ahead of Victor Bernier, who will be out for redemption, ahead of Delano Vanthoff, the MP Motorsport, the third of the orange cars coming out of the pit lane. The top 3 in the second collective test were Pierre-Louis Chauvet, who got the quickest time overall with a 1:42.6, so that gives us a bit of a marker to aim for. Santiago Ramos fitting in very nicely to RPM was second, and then Paul Aron was in third place. Dino Beganovic, in terms of our championship contenders, he was in fifth. Then we had Gabriele Mini in eighth place. Hadrian David was fourth. Drivers heading out the pit lane in Group A, we will have the following drivers: Paul Aron in the number 3, Pietro Armani in the number 6, Joshua Dirksen, who had a brilliant weekend last time out with another 6th place, he is in 10th, Josh Dufek in 13th, in the number 13, Sami Megatunov in the 17, Dino Beganovic in the 18, Noel Leon in the 19, Piotr Wisnicki in the 21, Kaz Havakor in the 27, Mari Boya in the 30, Nico Baptiste in the 35, Pierre-Louis Chauvet in the 55, Sebastian Montoya in the 58, Esteban Masson in the 64, Owen Tangavelu in the 65, Santiago Ramos is now pedaling the 75 car. Then we have Delano Vanthof in the 77, and Amna Al-Kibasi is out there in the 88. Also this weekend, of course, last weekend at Barcelona, we crowned our team's champions, and a congratulations once again to Prema Racing. We will crown our driver's champion here at Mugello, just like we did last season at the penultimate round of the season. It was, of course, Gregoire Saucy crowned himself the champion in the ART-GP car. But we also are still to crown our rookie champion. There is just 11 points splitting Leonardo Fornaroli and Josh Dufek. The rookie points are made up of their overall points, so we'll have to keep an eye on what the likes of Josh Dufek does. He's out there in the number 13 car. This is a track he goes very, very well at. He took all 3 pole positions last year when he raced here in Italian F4 last year, so keep an eye on him. And he is, of course, against Leonardo Fornaroli, who is currently watching from the sidelines as he will be out in Group B. There is Noel Leon, the Red Bull Junior, just making his way through turn number 1. Now remember, it was 1:42.6 was the quickest time from Pierre-Louis Chauvet. He's out there in the 55. That's the orange and green coloured car. This is Delano Vanthof, still struggling from the plate that he has in his shoulder. He picked up an injury earlier in the season, had to have an operation off the back of that. He has a plate in his shoulder which will come out in a month's time. Speaking to the guys at MP Motorsport, he was really struggling with it at Barcelona, so he did a fantastic job to get the result he did in 3rd place, because Barcelona is a very physically demanding circuit, and that race, that first race, if you haven't watched it yet, go back and do so. It was a fantastic race with no safety cars as well, so Delano Vanthof did a superb job. He didn't quite get the chance to show what he could do in the 2nd race as he was turned round at the 1st corner. Well, here's a good look at the Mugello Circuit. It's become one of my favourite circuits, if not my favourite. It's an absolutely beautiful venue. The drivers absolutely love it. Very, very quick circuit. The lowest gear these cars are in around here is 3rd gear. Absolutely fantastic. We are gonna, if you watched our Paddock Live show yesterday, speaking to Gabriele Mini, we will pretty much use all 15 seconds of the push to pass down the start-finish straight as well. So no doubt there will be plenty of overtaking, but an incredibly quick circuit. And on the slightly newer compounded tyre we have this year, they can push these cars even harder than they did last year around these quick corners. There you can see out of the final corner as they make their way onto the start-finish straight. They're just warming the tyres up for now. Takes 2 or 3 laps to get them up to a temperature where they're comfortable, and then they will go for their first big push lap. Championship-wise, of course, we're keeping an eye on Paul Aron, on Dino Beganovic. Remember, for those of you who are fairly new to the championship, or just a reminder to our regular viewers, this is going to be to determine what row of the grid they start on. 18 drivers out there, because there are 18 rows on the grid, 36 drivers, despite the fact we are at the final round. An absolutely fantastic 2nd season we have had of the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine, and no doubt that will continue into season 3. There is Kaz Havercourt in the Van Amersfoort car. He had a good outing last time out as well. More points on the board for him, and he is set to consolidate 5th in the championship. He has been caught a little bit by Gabriel Bortoleto, so he's in a bit of a fight with the Brazilian over 5th place. Could jump up to 4th place if Adrian David is to have a bit of bad luck this weekend. But overall, he'll be hoping to secure himself inside the top 5 in the championship. And it's been a very good season to get himself onto the top step of the podium as well. He's helped Van Amersfoort make a real step forward this season. Okay, here we go then. It looks like we're going to start our first flying laps. There you can see the 13 of Dufek in the tow of him, Havercourt, as they make their way down the start-finish straight then and up towards the first corner. Someone locking up the tyres, I can hear 2 drivers locking up the tyres, in fact, as they make their way in towards turn number 1. 3rd gear, they roll through there, and now they come uphill in towards turn number 2. You've got to get the car across to the left-hand side of the track to open up turn 3. Be careful of the gravel on the exit. Go as close to it as you dare. As we now roll down towards the second chicane, you can see got to take some curb through the left and the right, and once again be careful of that gravel on the exit. Go as close as you wish as we now come downhill. This is the driver's most favourite part of the circuit. The amount of speed they carry through here is sensational. Now 5th gear through Adibiata 1, flat out uphill through Adibiata 2, blind entry into there as well. 5th gear flat out up that corner as we now come down towards turn number 10. We're following Kaz Havercourt here. They carry so much speed through this section as it is downhill. Up and now downhill just as fast as we go through the long turn 12 banked corner. This one, as now on the exit we're going to come up to Biondetti 1 and 2, flat out they go through there as well, and now the run down towards turn number 15. This is where you can make or break your lap. Don't break too heavy into here. You don't want to run too wide on the exit. You've got to just, as you can see, they're already on the runoff before they even get to the exit of the corner. That looked pretty good from Kaz Havercourt as he now makes his way down the start-finish straight. Will it be good enough to beat his teammate? Not quite. 143.4. Josh Dufek has gone to the top with a 143.1. Vanthoff is second. Havercourt is third. Baptiste is next. Chauvet has gone to second place. Then is Ramos in sixth. Armani is next. Boyer is next. However, further down the field, Paul Aron looks set to go to the top of the standings. He's 4/10 quicker than anyone. Dino Beganovic set to go to second place, as just looking at the timing screens, Montoya has gone to second. Brilliant time there. Paul Aron now goes to the top, 142.7. Matty Boyer set to improve on this lap as well. Pierre-Louis Chauvet already improving. Dino Beganovic went to third. So it's Aron, Dufek, Beganovic, Montoya, Chauvet, Vanthoff, Havercourt, who you're watching on screen. Then Baptiste, Tangavelu, Ramos, Armani, Masson, Boyer, Megatunov, Wisnicki, Dirksen, Leon, Alcabasi. That's how it stands so far, but improving is Vanthoff, is Havercourt, is Baptiste as well. Baptiste on a really good lap, set to go P2. This is absolutely fantastic session. Beganovic challenging Aron as well here for a provisional pole time, as we are watching Havercourt come through Biondetti 1 and 2 now. Down towards the final corner he comes. Struggling a little bit here, 3.5 tenths off, so Havercourt will have to try and find some time. His teammate, like I said before, took 3 pole positions here last year in Italian F4, and he's reflecting that pace so far as he now heads down towards turn number 1. The view they get down here, absolutely beautiful. They head up and down the crest and in towards the first corner. An absolutely sensational part of the circuit. Baptiste, like I said, up to P3. That's an absolutely fantastic performance from the FA Racing driver. That's the highest we've seen him so far in qualifying, but it's a case now with can he stay there. He's got the likes of Beganovic behind him, Havercourt behind him, Tangavelu up to P5. One of the RPM drivers improving there. 2 more can improve as well, because Chauvet is on another good lap as well. Beganovic set to improve. Here he comes up to the line. Our championship leader clicks the beam now and goes P2, 143.024. And Dino Beganovic, as I said, All he has to do to win the title this weekend is finish in the top 4. If he finishes in the top 4 in race 1, he is champion. So Dino Beganovic, that would be good enough for him. A road to start would be just fine. Everyone now on a cool-down lap, and that gives us a chance to catch our breath. Paul Aron there, the first of the red and white Prema cars, currently leading the way with a 142.723. Dino Beganovic in second, the first of the rookies, Josh Dufek, who is challenging, of course, Leonardo Fornaroli for the rookie title. He is putting pressure on the Italian here. He's set to start on row 3. Nico Baptiste set for his best ever qualifying performance with 4th place there. Nico Baptiste, that is an absolutely brilliant performance from him to put it as high as that. Well done to Nico Baptiste. His best qualifying performance so far is 21st. So if Nico Baptiste can stay in P4 and get himself on the 4th row of the grid, that would be a huge, huge improvement. Havercourt, P5, would be in the top 10. Tangavelu, Chauvet will be disappointed to be outside it, given the pace that team has been showing in practice. Montoya, 8th, will want to improve on that. Boyer in 9th. Vantoff, likewise, was 3rd in one of the practice. He's currently in 10th place. This is Amner Al-Kibasi up through Arrabbiata 2. As I said, it is flat out, so if you just missed the apex, that is what might happen. Looks like Amner Al-Kibasi, I don't know what happened there, maybe just a click of understeer or something like that, but Amner Al-Kibasi, looks like she got away with it and is able to continue on. Great to have her in the championship these last 2 rounds. Barcelona, a brand new track for her, but this is a track she has raced at twice in Italian F4. Very different though, speaking to the drivers, they said driving these cars in F4 cars is so different to driving it in FRECA cars. It's almost like having to learn the circuit again. So although Amner Al-Kibasi has driven this circuit before, she will have to essentially learn the whole thing again. Joshua Dirksen in 11th, Ramos in 12th, Masson in 13th, Megatunov in 14th, Armani in 15th, Leon in 16th, Wisnicki in 17th, Al-Kibasi next along in 18th. Okay, we're getting ready to go for the last flying laps. They might get 2 more here. Dufek wants a tow from his teammate Havercourt. He's going to let him go. Havercourt on a flying lap here, not improving though as we make our way now down the start-finish straight. Havercourt, can he improve on this lap? Doesn't look like he's set to, really. He's coming up to the line now. Looking at the timing screen, doesn't look like he's going to improve, no. But Paul Aron, as you can see at the bottom of your screen, looks like he's on to go even quicker. Joshua Dirksen is on to improve as well. Biondetti 1 and 2. There you see, Paul Aron goes through, flat out through there. Only himself to beat now in this session. He's getting ready for another flying lap. This is going to be their final flying laps. They have to try and improve on this one if you're the likes of Havercourt, Tangavelu and Chauvet. This is your final time to get up the grid as Paul Aron makes his way down the start-finish line. Joshua Dirksen goes P7 and he's got another chance to improve. Aron goes across the line, doesn't improve. Dino comes across the line, doesn't improve as well. Improves in time, but not in position, 142.9. Paul Aron currently 2.5 tenths clear of the rest of the field. I've got to say, a really good first sector time and second sector time from Sami Megatunov, the man who has made so many positions. He's made 59 places in the last 2 rounds. Whoa! Josh Dufek there, well, as I said, go as close as you dare to that gravel, but if you get it slightly wrong, as we see one of the RPM drivers, I think that's what we saw Amner Al-Kibasi do as well. Just lose the car slightly through there and you find yourself going off into the gravel. Right, Megatunov looks like he could improve. Masson could improve. Oh no! One of the RPM cars is round. I think that's Tangavelu is round. That looks like the 65. If there's yellow flags out, then we can't see drivers improving through that section of the circuit. And looking at the timing screen, no one is set to improve. It looks like it's going to be a provisional pole, but whoa, Montoya down the inside there of Paul Aron. I thought that was for a second going to get a little bit tasty. That is Tangavelu, sadly facing the wrong way. Just came through Arrabbiata 1. and got onto the gravel, dropped a tyre on the gravel, and that flicked him round. And unfortunately, that's the end of the session for Tangavellu and for many of the drivers as well. A lot of the drivers weren't really set to improve, but with the yellow flags out there, you can see most drivers have called it a day and decided to come in. I don't even think we need the checkered flags waving in this one, because everyone is just going to peel into the pit lane. So 142.723 is now the time to beat. And let's just make a quick note of that now from that man there, Paul Aron. Absolutely fantastic time from him. A 142.723. That's our provisional pole time. So the idea now is we have Group B go out, and they have to try and beat that time. If they don't, they start on the outside row of the grid. If they do, they start on the inside row of the grid. It's as simple as that. But for now, Paul Aron, who's trying to chase down his teammate Dino Beganovic in the championship, puts himself on provisional pole position yet again. What a fantastic end to the season it has been for Paul Aron. He took a pole position at Barcelona, won from there as well, and then finished 4th in the second race. So Paul Aron quickest, he'll start on row 1. Dino will be on row 2. Josh Dufek gets his season finale off to a fantastic start and is charged to become rookie champion as well with 3rd. Baptiste, Havercourt, Tangavellu, despite his spin, will be 6th. Dirksen will be 7th. Chauvet will be one to watch in the race, coming from P8, then Montoya and Boyer. Vantoff will be 11th, then Ramos down in 12th, now with RPM. Megatunov in 13th, Masson in 14th, Armani in 15th, Leon in 16th, Wisnicki in 17th, and Alkebasi in 18th. Well, the remaining drivers for you as the car of Owen Tangavellu is recovered. In Group B, we are going to have the Polish driver now, Roman Belinsky. Maceo Capietto will be out there in the 5 as well. Then we have Axel Noss in the 7. Mateusz Zagazeta will be out there in the 8. Francesco Blaschi will be in the 9. Levente Revets, who had a fantastic weekend last time out. Levente Revets got his best ever result in the championship, did a superb job. He got his best result with 14th and his best qualifying result with 16th in both races. Francesco Blaschi scored his first ever point in the championship for FA Racing, so he'll be flying with confidence. We spoke to Mateusz Zagazeta yesterday. He's out there in the 8 in our Paddock Live show for G4 Racing, enjoying the circuit. Axel Noss is in the 7. Maceo Capietto, he said the goal for him is 2 points finishes. And Roman Belinsky, the Polish driver for Trident Motorsport, we spoke to him as well yesterday. Absolutely loves this circuit as well. Bit different to the ones he was used to racing in the likes of the GB3 Championship last year. But Roman Belinsky out there in the number 4. One of many people, actually, who felt the earthquake we had here yesterday. That's how the weekend got underway. For people who didn't hear about it, there was an earthquake in Tuscany, and it was felt by a lot of people around the paddock. It was around 5:49 in the morning, and it woke most people up if they weren't up already. And the guys at Trident were one of the teams that definitely felt it. I'm kind of sad that I didn't, really. I kind of missed the earthquake, but a lot of people did. Victor Bernier is going to be out there in the 12 for FA Racing. Very, very quick in practice yesterday, of course. Qualified in the top 10 in both sessions last week, but then that led to 2 DNFs. One was a mechanical failure, one was a crash with Dino Beganovic in race 2. His wrist is a little bit sore after it, a little bit blue, he said to us in our Paddock Live show on Instagram yesterday, but said that overall, it's nothing to worry about. One thing he did say is he has to build up his arms. He said this is a very, very physically demanding circuit. Lorenzo Fluxa out there in the 16. He's been in the points in the last 3 rounds in a race at least. So it's been a strong end to the season for the Spaniard. Let's see if he can end on a strong note as well. Nicola Marinangeli from Mononite Racing will be out there in the 24. Raced, of course, here last year with Arden Motorsport. Hadrian David, one of the 4 drivers, mathematically in contention for the championship, out there in the 26 for R-Race GP. What a fantastic weekend it was for Hadrian last week. 2 second-place finishes. Brilliant driving from the Frenchman. Sebastian Ogard getting more and more comfortable with the car. He's joined the championship late. As such, because he's joined the championship with 3 rounds to go, the likes of him, Chauvet, Alcabasi are not eligible to score points, and that's something we will have to keep in mind when we get to the race later. But he said he's getting more and more used to the car, more and more comfortable in it. Let's see if he can improve on his current best result, which is now a 24th place finish. Next along is Laurens van Hopen. It's been a solid first season for him, pretty much straight out of karting. He did a little bit of car racing last year, but nothing along the lines of Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine. Mainly raced in KZ2 in karting, and Laurens' first full season of car racing, first full season of single-seater racing, and it's been a really strong season for the Dutchman. Gabriele Mini, his teammate, will be out there in the 46. Nothing really to lose. 38 points back from Dino. After that brilliant performance from Dino in qualifying, he really has to go quickest in this group now. William Alatarlo, the Finnish driver, is back. Pleased to be out of Finland and in Mugello. Has been working at home with the family, and William Alatarlo working hard to try and make sure he's back on the grid for next season. Raced in FIA Formula 3 this year and was, got to say, very impressive race for the Genza Motorsport team, and put that team in the points on more than one occasion. Put some fantastic performances in at the likes of Spa. It was a really good season for the Finnish driver. As he went on with the season, he just got better and better, and really hope to see him back on that grid next year, along with many of our Freca graduates. Tim Tramnitz is out there in the 70. He had a good drive. He and Roman Belinsky came from row 10 of the grid last week to finish 13th and 14th. Leonardo Fornaroli, our rookie leader, now under a bit of pressure coming into this race. He's 11 points ahead of Josh Dufek, but Josh Dufek will start this one from row 3. Leonardo Fornaroli now has it all to do, really. He has to make sure he gets himself at least in the top 5 of this session, really, to protect his lead. He still hasn't had a rookie win in the championship, but I don't think he'll be too bothered about that if he wins the rookie title. Gabriel Bortoletto already signed to race in FIA Formula 3 next year along with Paul Aron. Gabriel Bortoletto will race with Trident. Paul Aron will stay with Prema. The Brazilian got his first ever pole last weekend and added to the win he got at Spa. Let's see what he can do this week. He'll be flying with confidence. And Dudu Barrichello, who has scored 51 points in the last 3 rounds with a worst result of 12th. Can you believe? He is in the 91. It's been a fantastic few rounds for him. He said he's really struggling this weekend. He said the team, that it's not been a good practice session for them at all. So let's see if they've been able to turn it around. It looks like he's the first car we're going to see in view. Yes, the red and white, but he's passed by William Alatarlo. There is Gabriele Mini making his way through in the 46, the black and white ART car. But William Alatarlo is the first driver we see. There is Hadrian David now in the blue. The Alpine affiliate driver comes up towards Biondetti 1 and 2. Our reigning vice champion. Can he keep that crown? 11 points behind Gabriele Mini to keep the title of being vice champion. If he can get onto the front row of the grid, he has a very good chance to do it. But of course, Paul Aron is the man he has to go and beat, and he has to beat the time of a 1:42.723. Weather-wise, you might have seen from shots around that it is very cloudy around. It is due to rain possibly later this afternoon. Everyone says different things. Some of the forecasts say that it will rain about 4 o'clock. We go racing at 2:10 local time here in Italy, but other people say it's going to rain earlier. Who knows? Who knows? There you can see it is a bit cloudy around, but there is, all I will say, there is a chance that we could have a wet race later here at Mugello. Adrian David makes his way through the chicane. We're going through that process of warm-up laps. Whilst we are watching one of our championship contenders, let's remind you of what the situation is in the fight for the title. Dino Beganovic, 255 points. Gabriele Mini, 217. Paul Aron, 216. And Hadrian David, the man on your screen, 208. 47 points the gap between them all. If Dino Beganovic finishes in the top 4 in the first race of the weekend. Whoa, rolling start, anyone? What on earth going on there? No one wants to go first. After you, no, after you. A little bit there. There we go. That's a little bit strange. Well, you can see that the toe here at Mugello is quite big because literally no one wants to go first. One of the RSGP drivers has said, you know what, I'll just go for it. And I think that might have been Lorenzo Fluxa. He's just going to go for this. But everyone else doesn't want to go first. This reminds me of watching like a karting session or something. But back to the title fight. If Dino Beganovic finishes in the top 4 in race 1 later today, he is champion. For Gabriele Mini, for Paul Aron, they have to hope, they have to win the race and hope Dino finishes 5th or lower. It's as simple as that, really. For Hadrian David, he needs to win both races and hope the others do not score, really. He needs a bit of a miracle. But for Gabriele and Paul, they have to win and hope Dino is 5th or lower. For Dino, he just needs to stay where he is. There's Dudu Barrichello. One more warm-up lap. One more lap to sort themselves out because it's a bit of a mess out there at the moment. It's a bit crowded. And being that close to drivers ahead really puts a grain on the tyres as well. 1:42.723 is the time to beat, to remind you. And that is the time of Paul Aron, who has taken a good few pole positions now. He's taken 8. One more would be a record. He's currently tied with Gregoire Saucy on pole positions in FRECA history. They both have 8 apiece, and that is the most we've ever seen from any drivers over the last 2 seasons of the championship. If Paul Aron gets pole position this morning, then he will officially have more pole positions than any other driver we have ever seen. So we would start the weekend with a record broken. Lorente Rivets comes across the line, as I said, his best results ever in FRECA last time out. A well done to him, 14th. And got his best qualifying results with 16th in both races. He's flying with confidence, and he's flying as he comes out of turn number 3. There you can see it pushing like mad as he now comes in towards turn number 4. That looked really, really smooth, that from Lorente Rivets, I have to say. The Hungarian now comes through turn number 5 and makes the run down towards turn number 6. Into Casanova he comes. You can see the amount of speed they carry down through here into the left. Watching from the paddock, the view you get of this section of the circuit is absolutely fantastic. Now, Arrabbiata 1, flat out, uphill. Arrabbiata 2. 5th gear they are through there. You've got to keep your foot pinned to the floor. We're going to pick up Matthias Zagazzetta and Axel Noss. Noss leading Zagazzetta. There's Zagazzetta in the 8th. The 2 G4 Racing teammates are going to be the first to put a time on the board for everyone to go and beat. It's going to be Axel Noss to hit the line first. In fact, Axel Noss pulls over, so it's going to be Matthias Zagazzetta, who was going about 2 seconds faster. So there must have been a mistake for Noss, either that or he was going through a warm-up process. But Zagazzetta the Peruvian driver, out of the final corner, makes his way down the start-finish straight now. What's he going to put on the board for us? He comes across the line, 1:44.5. That's a bit more of a warm-up lap still for Zagazzetta, but it gives everyone a benchmark to now go and beat. Levente Rivets beats it straight away, 1:44.2 for him. Seb Ogard, 1:43.7 for him. Victor Bernier now 1:42.9. That's a brilliant time from the Frenchman. That's just 2/10 away from the time of Paul Aron. Maceo Capietto, who is aiming for 2-point scores this weekend. Point scores means top 10 finishes. We use the same points format as Formula One, albeit you don't get a point for fastest lap. You've got to be in the top 10 to score points. Maceo Capietto goes second there, 1:43.2. However, Seb Ogard's going quicker on this lap. Zagazzetta's going quicker on this lap. Also going quicker is Axel Noss, but Gabriele Mini looks like he could go fastest. Gabriel Bortoletto set to go fastest. Belinsky goes 7th. There goes Mini to 3rd. Bortoletto goes to 2nd place. Then we've had, that's Van Hopen up to 7th place. Alatarlo has gone to 8th place. Leonardo Fornaroli goes to the top. 1:42.9 for Leonardo Fornaroli. What a fantastic response from the Italian after a brilliant lap from Josh Dupek. Fornaroli has gone to the top. Hadrian David to P4. Here is Leonardo Fornaroli, the Italian, on home soil. Makes his way down towards turn number 4. This is exactly what he needs to do. Wants that rookie win, wants that rookie title. Can he improve on this lap? He is. He's gone 2/10 quicker through the first sector. However, also going quicker is Maceo Capietto, is Gabriele Mini, is Hadrian David, is Bortoletto, is Bernier as well. Timing screen's on fire here in the commentary box, and on fire out on track is Leonardo Fornaroli. Here comes Bernier up to the line, and he goes quicker, 1:42.908, but Capietto might beat it. No, only just about slower, less than a 10th behind. Less than a 10th between our top 3 so far. Gabriele Mini is currently in P6, but looks set to potentially improve if he can find time through the final sector. No, 6th place for Gabriele Mini, it seems. Last section of the lap still to go for Gabriele. He's about 10 seconds away from the line. Seb Ogard doesn't improve. Fluxa doesn't improve on this lap. We're watching Capietto on our screens, but what's going to happen to Mini? He's making his way towards the line now, doesn't improve. What about Bortoletto? No, he slowed down through the last sector. Hadrian David is slowing down as well. Okay, looks like Tim Tramnitz can improve a little bit further down. Lots of drivers slowing up, getting ready. And there you see Tim Tramnitz to the left of screen, P9. Was in 14th, so that puts him inside the top 20. We've just had Belinsky 16th. We've had Barrichello go to 15th. Really struggling, Barrichello, but he's still got this final lap to go for it. Okay, Victor Bernier is currently quickest. As it stands, he would start on the front row alongside Paul Aron. Leonardo Fornaroli would start on row 2 alongside Dino Beganovic. On row 3 would be Maceo Capietto. 3 rookies beating 3 heavyweights in the likes of Gabriel Bortoletto, Hadrian David and Gabriele Mini. Lorenzo Fluxa would be on row 7. Ogard would be row 8. Then Tramnitz. Blaski is improving on this lap, so he's on a flyer, but only just improving. And then we have Van Hopen next along. Zagazzetta, oh, there you can see, just about avoiding going on the grass. That was a good first corner from Zagazzetta. You've got to be on the edge through turn number 1. And that was very good stuff from Zagazzetta, who's at this track for the first time. One of few drivers who is making his debut here, along with the likes of Belinsky is another one, Capietto, another one here for the first time. Tangavellu is another driver who is making his debut here. A few drivers who haven't been here before. The drivers who are coming over from British Championships or French Championships or Spanish Championships are the ones that have never been to this circuit before. Delano Vanthoff, although he is coming from a Spanish Championship, did race with us here last year. I'm not too sure. I don't think Seb Ogard's been here before either, so this would be a great result for him if he could get into P8, but a lot of the drivers know this track quite well. Right, we're watching Mateusz Zagazzetta, P8 so far. In the number 8, sorry, he's running, he was going to set to go P8, just looking at the timing screen, but that's now dropped to P12. The timing screen tells me what position they're on to go to from what sector they're in. It looked like he was on to go P8 through the first sector, 8th quickest of anyone, but 12th quickest through the second sector. He will improve, but I don't think by much, no. He improves his time, but stays in 13th. Right, Gabriele Mini, less than a tenth away from the quickest time through the first sector. Gabriele Mini needs to do something special here. He needs to be on the front row of the grid and ahead of Dino Beganovic to take this fight into tomorrow. Are we going to see any more improvements? Remember, in the first group, no one improved on that last lap. We did have the spin from Tangavelu, but still, there was no real improvements through the first sector before that. It's going to be tough to see any improvements, but let's see what happens. They're going to get one more flyer at the end of this. Building the tyres up now. Hadrian David is improving on this lap. William Alatarlo also improving on this lap. We're watching Gabriele Mini, who is going slower, but he will get one more crack at this. Roman Belinsky is ahead of him. He's improving on this lap as well. Out the final corner, he comes now. Down the start-finish straight we go. And the first to hit the line will be Laurens van Hopen, currently in 11th, goes P8. Good time from the rookie there. Belinsky goes 13th. Mini does not improve as he comes across the line. Leonardo Fornaroli going really, really quick. He comes up to the line now. Will he improve? No, stays in P2, but only just misses out there by 18 thousandths of a second behind Victor Bernier. Bernier has not come out of the pits. He has stayed in the pit lane. Less than a tenth between our top three. This is their final chance to improve. Checkered flag is waving. Lorenzo Fluxa will be one of the first drivers to take it. Oh, Leonardo Fornaroli wide out of the chicane there, out of turn 3, hit the gravel, and that's going to slow him up, and he's backing off the lap now. Leonardo Fornaroli backing off. His teammate Tim Tramnitz goes by. Lorenzo Fluxa is improving on this lap. Hadrian David is also improving as well. Will we see the Frenchman do something? I'm afraid to say, for Gabriele Mini fans, it's not looking good for him. The Italian is over 4 tenths, just under 4 tenths slower through the second sector. And it looks like with Dino on the second row and Gabriele on the 6th row, it's going to be really hard for the Italian to take this fight into tomorrow. Paul Aron, it will be down to him to try and do so. Across the line, here comes Lorenzo Fluxa, doesn't improve, stays in 7th place for Gabriele Mini fans. It looks like his chances of taking this title fight any further are really starting to slip away now. William Alatarlo comes out of the final corner. He's on a personal best lap here. Will we see him improve on 12th place? He comes up to the line now. The Finnish driver hits the start-finish line. Will he improve in his position? No, stays in P12. No one else improving out there. I think this is going to be our finishing order. I don't see anyone improving. Most drivers have now either come into the pits or hit the flag. This was Fornaroli. Just carried a bit too much speed there through turn 3, and there you can see lost the rear of the car as a result, and that saw him, as he corrected the car, saw him go off into the gravel. Well, Victor Bernier continues his fantastic run in qualifying. The Frenchman will go onto the front row of the grid and will start alongside Paul Aron, the Estonian. Leonardo Fornaroli will be ahead of his title rival in the rookie fight, Josh Dufek, by 1 place. Matteo Capietto will be on row 3. Gabriel Bortoletto will be on row 4. Hadrian David on row 5. Gabriele Mini row 6. Lorenzo Fluxa row 7. Then Tramnitz, Van Hopen and Ogard. Fantastic qualifying from Capietto. That's his best ever result. That is all from qualifying. We have to wrap up quickly, I'm afraid, but make sure you join us for the first race of the weekend at 2:10 local time here in Mugello, where we could crown our champion for 2022. For now, it's goodbye.